Are we actually offering personal services or programs or whatever? But now we know, and now we can actually sell it, and we'll sell the shit out of it.
Welcome back to Before the Pitch, where we get to see startups practice their pitch before delivering it in real life. In this episode, we are joined by the 3 women from Real Wellth Health, and we get to see them practice a customer pitch before delivering it live and in person this Thursday night at a networking event. Joining us, we have founder Sally Warlow.
Hi everybody, my name's Sally Warlow. I'm the CEO of BaasisTech. We make a software product called PlaceTrack that manages all of the requirements around tertiary education students when they're out doing their work-based learning requirements. I've attended many conferences presenting various products.
As part of hosting this networking event, Real Wellth Health gets to give a 7-minute talk. When we recorded this before pitch, it came in at 14 minutes. So we're going to switch things up a little bit. I'll upload that full video separately. And in the meantime, here is a 5-minute abridged version of Real Wellth Health's pitch before the pitch.
So, kia ora everyone. We are the team from Real Wellth, and we truly and deeply believe that health is our real wealth. We also believe that we've got what it takes to show you how to find yours. Cool. So first of all, we'll start by telling you a little bit about who we are and where we come from, because we believe that it is a very important part of what we do. My name is Dr Zuzi, or Dr Zuzana Orautswawila.
Kia ora e te whānau. My name's Ilse, and it's a privilege to share my story with you. My journey's been shaped by diverse experiences. Unlike Susie and Pragati, who have a medical calling, I began my working career as a chartered accountant, followed by a postgraduate diploma in viticulture and enology. My journey taught me that true healing requires us to become empowered, proactive participants of our own health. Most chronic illnesses today are preventable through lifestyle change. I like to refer to the analogy of the fish. I help others to create healthier habits and live their best lives, adding life to their years and not just years to their life.
Kia ora and namaste. My name is Dr Pragati Gautama. Have a very English accent because I was brought up in London, and that's where I did my degree in medicine. And I really have been a doctor for actually over 30 years. I don't like to say that because then you might guess my age. The last 10 to 15 years, it's come to me that sharp end of medicine really needs to be refined further, because while I might be the true ambulance at the bottom of the hill, or the cliff rather, I think we need something that's going to prevent individuals falling down that cliff. And so that's why I've developed an interest in functional medicine or integrative medicine. The latest research shows that while we are living longer than our predecessors, perhaps 50 to 100 years ago, we are spending our latter years in poor health and somewhat dependent on others. Our current health systems really do focus on, almost exclusively, on managing the symptomology. What our group wants to do, or rather focus on, is that whole person perspective.
Proposing a comprehensive wellness set of solutions for both corporates and individuals. Research clearly shows the enormous impact employee wellness has on the bottom line. Statistics and resulting economic losses are truly staggering. Just to name a few, New Zealand lost 10 million working days due to absences in 2022, and 38% of leaders are reporting overwhelm or burnout, according to the latest Randstad State of Wellbeing Across the Globe reports. We offer a comprehensive whole-person approach, addressing all modifiable aspects, resulting in, we believe, better and more sustainable outcomes. We're using the latest research and technology to predict your risks, assess your current state of health, and support you alongside traditional practices to achieve lasting wellness. Based on the available data, we know that improved employee well-being results in reduced burnout and sick days, increased productivity and engagement, better staff retention, and is one of the most desirable incentives for new recruits.
So here are our offerings that we are really passionate about, and we have a whole range of products on offer. So first of all, it's our flagship product, which are comprehensive wellness programs for executive leadership team. We also offer supported comprehensive wellness programs for employees, as well as self-paced online wellness programs for individuals or teams, and these can both be offered either in person or online. Our bespoke comprehensive wellness programs are 6 months long. We really take the participants on a deep dive, assess their well-being, help them get better, and also help them learn and maintain lifestyle habits that will lead to their sustained well-being. Over the 6 months, we check in with them every couple of weeks for learning bites and extra support. Send us an email, check out our website, or just talk to us down. We'll be floating around on the floor, ready to answer any questions.
How did that feel?
Nerve-wracking, because we literally just pulled it together this morning. Could you tell?
No, actually. It seemed like you knew what you were talking about. Feels like you know your content, you know what you do. So really it was just a matter of pulling it together and shaping it. Sally, what did you like about what you just saw?
What I loved was the stats. Okay, so what buyers are going to care about is how many sick days this is going to save them if their employees have got it. So loads of stats and loads of stories. Stories were also really good. Why your personal journey and why you came to this, sharing that offers a little bit of vulnerability, but it really makes a powerful connection. So that was really awesome.
Sally, thank you for that, because we were really struggling in the allotted time how to get that balance of sharing stories about ourselves, but also the corporate, you know, how many stats we actually needed to include or otherwise. So, yeah, that's good to hear.
I think people need to know you're qualified, but I don't think they need to know too much about that journey.
Yeah.
But they do need to know, stories about why they might need to use you. Why? What's the benefit? Why care? Why should they care? And stats really hits them in the pocket if they know that their employees are going to be off sick X number of days just because they're actually one of their systems isn't functioning well. Then that's something. And the other thing that you put in was that this is a really desirable benefit and a remuneration package. Really hammer that home. I think because it's hard to hold on to staff these days, especially in highly skilled areas. So if someone can offer that, don't sweep over it, make it a point.
Off the back of what Sally said, so those kind of key moments, like showing your personality at the beginning with the photos, the really illustrative kind of philosophies, you know, adding life to your years, not just years to your life.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah, given the context that this is a networking event, you'll talk and then you'll have half an hour to an hour for people to come up to you afterwards, giving them that insight or that way to connect with you so that it breaks the ice, so that they can come up to you and say, you know, Zuzi, I love that photo of you as a 5-year-old wearing the doctor's outfit, you know, like that's a way for them to ease into the conversation, which you want, because you want to make it as easy as possible for them to come and talk to you. The overall presentation went for about 14 minutes. I know we did have like changing slide in there. That says to me there's a lot to be cut out. It might be around just focusing on what are those like 2 or 3 key messages we need to get across for each section. Sally, for you, what are your kind of top points of how you might improve this, or questions to ask to help the team improve this?
I think in terms of who you are, yes, I need to know you're a qualified doctor, but that's about it. I don't need your whole history yet. I might discover that at a conversation, and that's a good question. Like Pete said, leader, it's like, oh, so how long have you been practicing, or where did you start, or what disciplines have you practiced? Leave some question room in that information, so just give them a teaser and not the whole CV. The other thing, that fishbowl image is really powerful. I'd actually make that its own slide. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I always wanted in there. And I
Yeah,
guess I was coming from it that, yes, I'm not the doctor. I'm a little bit different to everybody else, but actually that's what's key for me is the fishbowl.
Yes. Yeah. So
But that's how we
make
all
that
practice, really.
Sally, I was actually thinking about, that the adding life to years. There's actually a nice graph that you can use that can just demonstrate that.
That'd be
Do
awesome.
it.
And
Yeah.
if we've got
Yeah.
it.
Graphs are good, especially the one you had with your corporate offering slide with the week by week thing. Really hard to read, too many words. So I think either really simplify it or get rid of it and make it something different.
Yeah, that was a last minute throw in. We are working on a simplified version. I just put it in, so something's in there. Yeah.
I like the way it weaves, kind of like a DNA.
Yes.
But I think, it's too complex or too wordy for anyone to be able to even read it. So, and maybe just a few words for each bubble, so to speak.
Yes.
And making that we have it as a handout. Come and talk to us afterwards.
Yes, that's a good point.
And we do have it as a handout.
Yeah.
We will have it as a handout by Thursday. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
So one thing that you could also include is, business owners have got limited funds to spend on their a remuneration package or on their employees. So why should they spend them with you? That's the argument you need to. So
yeah, we need to make more of the fact that other EAP type or employment packages are often on one topic and they're once off, whereas ours is really the holistic view of your health and well-being.
And they're often the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, and you guys are the fence at the top.
We're at the beam.
Maybe even include a slide with that image, with the fence at the top and the ambulance at the bottom, and put yourselves at the top. Images are really powerful when you're doing this kind of a presentation. So the more images and less words you can display, the better.
That's actually true.
I think it was the corporate offering slide with the bullet points, but probably all of them. I would make sure you've got your logo and URL on the slide, because
we will.
This is the kind of environment where people will take a photo of the slide.
That one. Yeah. That's a really cool slide, but it's really hard to see. The text is too faint and the image is a little bit bold. So
I'll fix that.
I like it as a slide, and it's got just a few words and it's easy to read, but your picture needs to be more faded and your text more bold.
Yeah, it's easy fix. Yeah.
Again, thinking about the context, and you want people to be coming up to you. So you want this presentation to be an introduction that leads to a conversation. That means simplifying things so they can understand it. So they've got a reason to, okay, I get it. I'm going to come and talk to you to find out more about X, Y, Z. And I feel like the balance for this was maybe a little too in the detail around, as an example, this is what our corporate offering includes, and a little bit light on this is the outcome, or this is the vision for you hit a couple of times. So Susie, in your introduction, you talked about burnout, and then Ilse, I think it was later on when you were talking about employee well-being, and 38% of employee or businesses experience overwhelm or burnout. That's a really nice kind of introduction to here's a challenge that you might be facing or that your staff might be facing, and putting a really strong benefit that you offer. So prevent them from experiencing burnout or help them manage it before it becomes an issue where they have to take sick leave or completely resign and change careers. Potentially, to make it a little bit more personal, again, this is a live environment. You can start with like, how many of you have experienced burnout, or how many of you think someone in your organization is experiencing burnout? So that then when you talk about the impact, wouldn't it be great if with our help you can address that before it gets there? Or your executive team super busy, wouldn't it be great to feel like when you're with your kids on the weekend, you can switch off and just be focused on them, selling them the benefit, the outcome, and then they can come and talk to you and say, how exactly are you going to do that? And then you're in a conversation, get email address, contact details, etc.
Which is almost a little bit what we've put in that later slides that we haven't used, where we did problem and here's the solution, which makes me wonder whether we're spending too much time on slides of ourselves, 3 slides. Maybe that's one slide with the 3 of us and just our words, and then go back to using more of that problem solution.
Yeah, but I would make some of those stats really big and bold. Just have
Have them on a page. Yeah, okay.
Share the key ones. Go back to that stats slide. That's awesome
That
figures.
one. Yeah.
No, the colourful one. That one. So I would focus on, it might be a good idea to share like 3 of those, say, the biggest ones that are going to hit businesses in the pocket, or that you can demonstrate the most benefit for your program on.
I mean, that bottom line, like 38% suffer from excessive pressure on the job, 24% are actively disengaged. Think about your team. 1 in 3 are stressed, 1 in 4 is unproductive. How much
It's actually that bottom slide, isn't it? It's the blue that really delivers it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make it relevant to the individual and the individual workplace, because you're not selling to the economy, you're selling to an individual executive. So making them do the work of relating it to their own workplace, as opposed to overall in New Zealand, this is the situation. I mean, you can even start with a question like, what percentage of your team do you think is experiencing stress, burnout, or disengagement? And then you can show the stats. They might be higher, might be lower, presumably higher.
They're not going to own up to that. So then you can pull that stat up and go, did you know in New Zealand it's actually this? And how do you know your team's not experiencing this? These are great stats. Well done, team.
Yeah, no, we do have a lot of stats, so I think it's just that balance, I think. Yeah.
Just the ones that they're going to care about. If you are a business owner, which of those stats would you care the most about? Put those up.
Yeah.
It's got to be personal for them.
Yeah.
And do
actually,
the equivalent for how you can help. So don't just leave them with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it's we are the heroes, come and talk to us.
Yeah.
And that's probably a transition to that could be, as Sally was saying, current solutions for EAP deal with these once they're a problem.
Exactly. And they're episodic and they're this, and we're saying this. Yeah, we need that kind of very clear, don't we?
So maybe we actually do need a slide where we put them, put the benefit, put the them, us next to each other. What do you think?
Well, I think problem and then solution, then you're not necessarily going them versus us.
Yeah. I didn't mean it in that way, but
Yeah.
The other thing I could offer is to, once you've got it all together and flowing, practice it together 10 times. So there was a large number of ums and ahs in there, and that just comes across as, I don't know what I'm talking about. So make sure it's really smooth and you sound confident delivering it. Like, practice it almost to the point that you're sick of it and you know it by heart, so that you don't have those fillers. popping in.
Like if I'm that person in the audience, if I'm the, someone on the executive team in the audience, what is the, 2 or 3 things, stories, stats, points, whatever, that you want me to take away from this 7 minutes?
My feeling is that I don't want just to be focusing on that product.
Okay.
I think I would like to tell them about all the offerings that we have, because basically we have evolved hugely since we started working with you, Pete. And we've had these ideas, and we actually have products ready to go and to sell, and we want to sell the low ticket items as well as the large one, because we really think that the low ticket items are a very easy sale, because they are so different to what anyone else has. We've had really good feedback. We already have inquiries for future ones. So I think that could be, are we spreading ourselves too thin then? Should we be putting all our eggs in one basket and focusing all our attention on the big ticket item? So can we do both? Should we do both? Should we just do the big ticket?
The ones on that slide, we had the kind of the corporate offerings.
Yeah.
The messaging around all of those is pretty much what we've been talking about, right? It's about that kind of preventative wellness in the workplace, or speaking to the business customer. And so I think the messaging there is consistent. So I don't think it's confusing to say, here are the different offerings we have in this space.
Yes.
The little confusion I had was when you went from the kind of 6-month corporate offering to the 21-day reset for $145. That was, and you did, Zuzi, at the opposite end of the spectrum, but I thought that was quite too much of a jarring difference. So I would definitely separate those if you're going to talk about all of them.
I think for this particular event, you've got 7 minutes. So you're not going to sell all your products at this in that presentation. I think you want to leave them guessing. Talk to a couple or talk to your products generically and then get them to come and ask you questions. In 7 minutes, I think you're going to get an introduction out of people rather than a sale. So you want them to come and talk to you. So you need to leave them with enough questions that they want to come and ask. Just talk to the fact that you have a number of packages on offer that benefit employees, that benefit C-suite, that benefit individuals, and we'd love to talk to you more about that. You can say that some of the offerings are online, some are in person. You have a range to offer businesses and individuals, and you'd love to discuss it with them more. Dangle them enough of the carrot.
Yeah, you're talking about really simplifying each slide and really only hitting with maybe 3 major facts for each slide.
Yeah.
What I'm getting out of this. Pictures more than words.
Can I change tack just a little bit? Sally, I know that you were at a conference when we caught up last month, which I imagine is a fairly quick conversation, probably similar to this. Can you kind of give a highlight of like how when people come up and say, tell us about PlaceTrack, what are the notes that you hit, or how do you talk about it?
Okay, so the number one question I got was, why are you different? Why should I spend my money with you as opposed to what else is available out there? There's a number of offerings that people can put into their remuneration packages, so why should they choose you guys? What you need is you've got 2 minutes to talk, basically. So you need your top benefits really key of mind, and you need to have why they should care about it ready to go. So list, say, 5 benefits and why they should care, and have that in a dialogue that comes across as believable. It's tell it like a story rather than just here's why you should care. Point 1. Tell it as a story.
I guess the most important thing is to have fun. I mean, you're up there talking about the amazing impact that you do have and want to have on the world, and you're the best qualified people to do that. So have confidence in yourselves, have fun being up there, supporting each other and talking about what you do.
It's going to be awesome.
Was it awesome? And what changes did Real Wellth make to the pitch? How effective was it at starting conversations at this networking event? That's the real question. Shout out to local Dunedin startup QGo for arranging the videography of this event for Startup Dunedin. Thanks, team. What you're about to see is an abridged 4-minute version of the pitch Real Wellth gave at the event, followed by my debrief with the Real Wellth team. Stick around.
This idea, and this is our mission to look at the whole holistic view of the human being. You know, we're a combination, we're a complex creature. We need to look at the difference between lifespan and health span. Really simply, lifespan is just how long you're actually going to live. Health span is when you're living really well. So I really want you to look at this green section of this curve. We want to make that bigger. You know, I mean, I'd almost say, if it was up to me, I'd like to die with my big song. I want that to be a vertical line down. I want to be as good as I can.
So what are we talking about when we think about how we might change our current sick care model to a wellness-based model? And I love the analogy of the sick fish, right? Take a look at it. How would you treat a sick fish? Do you medicate the fish? Or do you clean the tank? Most of the existing system focuses really on managing symptoms, and we really want to shift that. We want to change to a wellness-based model. And at its core, this is taking a whole person approach. So how is staff wellness impacting the workplace? Is the consequences on organisational productivity and profitability. And if I just grab a few of the key quotes from up there, key stats. New Zealand in 2022 lost 10 million working days due to staff absences. That's an enormous number. And the latest Gallup State of the Global Workplace study, which has just recently come out, shows us that only 34% of people are thriving in life. 34%. That's a shocking number. And really, we've seen this continued rise in the level of disengagement in employees, which is now at a shocking 62% of people not engaged. I mean, we've seen this trend with the Great Resignation ever since COVID. This is just a continuation of that. And I think, alarmingly, business leaders, 38% of them are reporting feeling overwhelmed and burnout. So the truth is that most people aren't thriving at work or in life. So why does this matter, right? Comprehensive, really good wellbeing programs support fewer days absence, they support lower rates of burnout, they support better employee engagement, staff retention and attraction of those staff. And what we're seeing in that latest Gallup poll as well is that comprehensive wellbeing programs is actually a key criteria now for people joining the workforce. It's a key incentive for them to join business. Good health, good wealth is good business.
It's personalized, it's preventative, it's proactive, and it is participatory. And we offer a whole range of services which encompass everything from individual consultations, which can be done online or in person, to comprehensive wellness programs for individuals, groups, employees, and we also have a specific one for executive teams. So one compelling reason to pay attention to what we are saying, if we haven't convinced you yet, is that it makes good financial sense to invest into well-being of the employees and your own well-being. studies have shown consistently that every dollar spent on employee well-being returns $2.5 in return. I don't know about any other investment with such high return.
Feel free to come and talk to each one of us, because we really are a team, and that's the other side to it. It's not just an individual process. Thank you very much.
How did the pitch go?
Shall I give my perspective?
Yeah, go.
It was really lovely to have I think we had just over 100 people, so I think that was great. Pragati and I watched the video again yesterday. Look, I think we were personable, but as Sally said afterwards, still too long. I think we should have finished with our little product page and everything on it. And I think we've just got to get snappier. It's like 2 lines slide probably. And that's hard when you begin, because you want people to connect to you. So I think we talked about ourselves a little bit too long, and it's a real challenge how to make that succinct as possible. But I think we can make that a little bit more succinct. But it was nice to go to people afterwards, and they were actually quite engaged, and people asked a lot of questions. So I do think it's a worthwhile exercise. Yeah. It was good in that it created interest and curiosity from the audience. So you could actually go out there afterwards and, people asked lots of questions. Certainly the people I spoke to asked lots of questions, which I thought was really nice. And we invited them to do that, and that was probably quite good.
Fantastic. I mean, that was the goal, right? Was to engage people so that you could have those conversations. So it sounds like that was a success.
Yeah, I think that was really a success. I guess maybe we just identify 3 or 4 people from the crowd who we really should follow up with them. Good exercise for a startup. I think you've got to get really comfortable pitching your business to people, right? I mean, it's a critical thing. And, once we have that looking the way we want it, I think we should put that on the website.
Well, I was mostly approached by NGOs, actually. And they were very interested in what we are doing, very approving of what we are doing, loved the idea. They loved the fact that we are trying to make it accessible, with the lower ticket items. They loved it. So I was getting asked a lot about the cheaper programs, but it was good. It was great to receive that feedback. And I also spoke with a couple of city councillors. They again were very interested. I think it would be still worthwhile knocking on their door. Most of the programs that we are aware of, it's either physical or mental, or it's yoga and kind of esoteric, and none of them really offer what we are offering. So I think we have a niche for sure. We just need to find the right people to talk to.
Yeah. Pragati's comments are interesting. She's just in a noisy space, but she was saying, my feeling is there wasn't a lot of real interest in picking up corporate options, as cost still an issue, but maybe a Dunedin issue. Has certainly been a little different in Queenstown. And I'd say yes, because her and I have been in Queenstown for the last 2 days, because we wondered, while the iron is hot and we've recently done the BA5 Dunedin, do we actually present again, because it'll be slicker a second time too, and do the BA5 Queenstown? Because all we need is we just need to make a start in the corporate space, right?
Yeah.
And I think we had a really good strategy session as well, Kate, 2 weeks ago, and we've kind of refined and created almost a shorter option for the corporate, realising that cost impediment.
I actually can't wait for 2025 to come. I am really excited about it, and I think we are going to just
rocket shoot up. I really know it, because I think that, this year it's been we've been crystallizing exactly what it is we are offering, who it is we are, how to present ourselves. That's why the pitch has been so difficult for us, because we did not have a clear idea really ourselves what we are offering. Are we actually offering personal services or programs or whatever? But now we know, and now we can actually sell it, and we'll sell the shit out of it.
I think so. Hey Pete, you'll be impressed. We've even got a model. You want to see it?
I would love to see it. Doing this pitch helped to refine the business thinking, and the conversations after the pitch helped to refine the business strategy and the value proposition. And that's a fairly common outcome from going through this process. And it's a good reason to take the opportunity to pitch your startup even if you don't think you're ready. It's not about making the sale or getting the investment, but doing the thinking and doing the work. This has been Before the Pitch. My thanks to Sally Warlow from BaasisTech for being a guest pitch coach. And big thanks to Dr Zuzi, Ilse and Dr Pragati from Real Wellth for letting us see behind the scenes before the pitch. Music for this episode were the tracks Breakfast Homemade and Foodie by Heston Mimms and Imuno, sourced from immuno.sourceaudio.com. Before the Pitch is produced by me, Pete Lead, and Startup Dunedin. Graphic design is by Tim Still, and this season is supported with funding from Otago Community Trust. We'll see you in a future episode. In the meantime, if you're feeling burnt out or disengaged, take a break, take a breath, and look after yourself, at least for a few minutes every day. Thanks.